Hey, welcome back to Metroball Grid. My name's Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is currently the 29th of August, and it's late in the evening. We're in the casual lobby of Jaina. That was a bad hand. We're gonna mulligan that. Best of luck. Have fun. So tonight, actually, firstly, just a bit of housekeeping. This Thursday, I am going to be at, or starting this Thursday, I'm going to be at PAX West. So there's no stream, unfortunately, this Thursday. We'll make it up next week. Otherwise, we are playing against Omar, and we are playing AgInfusion. We're playing a specific AgInfusion deck that has Sandstorm and Whirlpool and should just kill people with Junebug. It seems relatively simple. This hand isn't beautiful. I think we probably just want to... we're going to get a count siphoned if we're going to get a count siphoned, right? With only 12 influence. I don't know what they're going to spend their influence on, but we can't block our archives and R&D, and this is kind of bad ice for our archives. It's better to get this on R&D, I guess. So I guess I'll just take a credit, put this in a new remote. If they run HQ, they'll probably trash our Junebugs, which sucks. We actually have very little ways of recurring that besides Jackson Howard. We have no friends in our deck because Junebug doesn't really work that well with friends in high places. But the idea of this deck is that if the runner runs onto a Sandstorm or into a Whirlpool, and then we either bounce a piece of ice with our Corp ability or with a Sandstorm, we can make them run on a Junebug. And then they die? And that seems relatively simple. So I threw this deck together in about 5 minutes. I had 14 influence left, so I just made all the ice really beefy. And we'll see how that goes for us. Because we actually don't have a win condition besides that one Junebug, so hopefully we draw into a Mushin Notion relatively soon. So 12 influence, Street Pillar on the table, that's good if they're running I've had worse, because there's a chance they'll be trapped under there, and that's actually a really big card. Cycling Street Pillar for Street Pillar, losing 2 operations on that, that's pretty good. Career Fair means probably running all the good resources, things like Blue Moose, Liberated Accounts, Daily Casts. So it's good that they lost that influence there, and that's a lot of money underneath there. Well, let's see where they go here. I imagine you always run archives, or at least maybe even run HQ. Perhaps if we're leaving them that open, it's a bit suspicious, but they're just going to make that good HQ run. Let's see if they get the Junebug. All right. So trashing them for 0 does change the game plan. It makes it very obvious that we are running a trap deck, and that should change how they play. They might be more scared of our ice. They might be more scared of running last click for things like snare. Beans. Mining accident. Pay 5 credits or take a bad publicity. Now, I think we're actually just going to take the bad publicity here. We're not going to tax him out. We're trying to go for that sweet, sweet kill. So let's see if that actually matters. But that is a good way to play that card, and it's really hard to stop. Like turn 1, do you want to go down to 1 credits or give the runner a bad pub? This card is absolutely nuts. It is incredible. And they probably have 3 more or 2 more of these in their deck. And we just can't do it. We can't. If you don't have a hedge fund turn 1, that's a brutal card. And they're drawn up. So our mental health clinic is going to give us a credit, which makes it easier to play IPO, and a Jackson isn't too sweet. I think we might want to put that on the table and draw, but that actually puts us in a really clumsy place because we can't really filter out things that we do draw. Are we going to respect Rumor Mill? I don't think so. Yeah, these are all trashables. And drawing last click would largely be a mistake, so I guess we'll take a credit. Now the thing with bad pub is they can trash all these for 2 credits apiece, which is, with 3 credits, maybe asking a lot, but maybe not. You can always put this on HQ, or actually putting this on archives gets a lot of value, but I think we're just going to click for a credit there. Putting that on archives gets huge value, because if they want to use their Omar ability, they're going to have to trash that for 4 credits. And there you go, that's a Blue Moose on the table, and they have so much fodder. They have so many credits worth of Blue Moose cards here. Aeneas Informant, that's good tech. I'm assuming they're probably running Maw as well. And they have a Paperclip in the bin. I think we're only running 2 barriers in this deck, a Tithonium and a Himitsubaku, so Paperclip deals with both of those relatively well. But the money train's going to start rolling, that's for sure. They only paid 3 credits for this bad boy, which is not a lot of money. I think with bad pub, you should probably trash that mental health clinic. It seems that we need the money. Also, the fact that we're leaving everything open probably makes them think that we're running snare. And we're actually not running anything besides Junebug. I'm really hoping we draw into our Mushin no Shin very soon, because I think we'll just start slamming that and advancing it. I don't think they're running Siphon. We've seen so many influence. Or not so much influence, but we've seen influence on resources, and especially a lot of resources. So I'm assuming they're keeping it in Earthrise. Okay, so they just got more card draw, which is more credits for us. That's the Mushin. Giving him more hand size actually with mental health clinic. Maybe that was a mistake. So this is a double. This will be all of their hand. We could advance it once more, and then we don't get to play the IPO. I think we actually want to advance this once more. Because now if they hit this, it does 8 damage, and they can actually run into that first click with 6 when they draw 2 up with Earthrise Hotel. And now our entire game plan is basically just to get a Whirlpool on the table and have them hit it, and then either have them hit a Sandstorm or have the Whirlpool in front of an unresed ice while they don't have us on Employee Strike. And I think that's not impossible, and that could be really a simple way to win this game. I think this is a pretty cheesy way to win. The fact that you can turn basically any Project Junebug or any bad run if they don't have an AI breaker, and it looks so far like they don't have an AI breaker. Maybe they're running Eater. No, I doubt it. They have a lot of resources. So we'll see how that goes. We're gonna have the money to IPO next turn. This only costs 1 credit to fire, mind you. A lot of times when you play like damage decks on Jinteki.net, people will just run into them anyways. And they don't care because these games aren't like very high stakes. So the value you get from kill decks is kind of hard to measure on Jinteki.net because it's not like a tournament where people like spend more time on their decisions. They know that we're recording this though. I always ask my opponents, so that might change how they play. They maybe want to play good. And they got the IPO from HQ. That doesn't get an Aeneas informant, so that's good. Trashing the baddie, not too bad when we have a Jackson on the table. We kind of want that also to fire some of our really disgusting ice. We have some really good ice in this deck. I think we have Fairchild 3.0, Ichi 1.0, we have a Tithonium. I think that's where most of our influence went because we didn't have a better way to spend that. And they just don't have a lot of money right now, which is the issue. This could easily be a 5-3 agenda that we could be scoring out. Whether or not they're going to be threatened from that, I don't know. They did see another Junebug, and that kind of changes the odds about whether you're going to run a trap. If you know one is in the archives, doesn't make it more reasonable that the one on the table isn't the second copy. Technically, the odds are lower, right? So maybe we're using that to our advantage. If they just run this, though, oh man, it's going to be a really short match. We're not even going to see any of the cool ice in this deck. Running Jackson. They trash us for 2 cricks. Actually, there's a chance that they don't trash it, and they get an Aeneas informant. So either way, we have another in hand. That's fine. They don't have a lot of money right now. They might just actually be clicking for a credit here with Aeneas by not trashing it. I think trashing the money card is more relevant here. Yeah, there you go. That's actually a really interesting choice. Aeneas makes the Jackson choice super interesting. It's not just, oh, you lose 3 credits. And that's really cool. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get some ice from HQ. That's a Whirlpool, right? So we need to get the Whirlpool in front of this ice on R&D just so it has an effect. And we can still IPO up here, and that's fine. Yeah, that's the thing about Whirlpool. You need an ice behind Whirlpool, and if they run through this, can't break it, and they can't jack out. So if you have an unres piece of ice behind it, you can AgInfusion them onto server 3, our Junebug server. Now, the case being specifically with Omar Kung, it's kind of, I don't know how to actually say that name. It's kind of rough because they'll probably not be running R&D for a long time as long as Archives is uniced. So once we get another piece of ice, we'll double ice Archives with a Whirlpool into something. Then we'll only have to worry about HQ, which... Also, this deck doesn't run a lot of agendas. A lot of them are defensive. We're running Future Perfects, we're running Obakatas, and I think we're running a Fetal AI. We honestly have no plans about scoring agendas. So let's see. They haven't put on that pressure. They haven't actually been checking the top of R&D, and there's the Maw. And that makes so much sense. And we're actually going to get heavily punished for having these empty remotes. We don't actually have that many combo cards in our hand. But yeah, the Maw Aeneas is like a really good combo. So they're going to run this, not trash it, gain a credit, trash a card from HQ at random. Again, we still have the Jackson, so we can kind of pull out of this. That's fine. And we're not going to be able to ice up all our stuff. I think we're only running... I don't know how much ice, maybe 16, perhaps 15 ice. So let's see if we get value here. We basically need them to hit that one really good piece of ice combo and then we maybe win the game. Yeah, maybe we win, I don't know. But this is good, right? This really does punish horizontals. This is a strong card. It was kind of hard to play back in the day. Before we had Blue Moose, but Blue Moose, there's a baddie. We're gonna lose that for free. That's a shame. It's a good card to have. Yeah, it's a lot easier to play this. It was hard in some asset spam matchups that you didn't have the credits to play Maw, but now with things like Aeneas Informant and Blue Moose, you can actually make money while getting Maw runs, and that's really strong. Hedge Fund is good, but not exactly what we want here, and that's great. Subliminal, they're going to be running every turn, so it doesn't really matter. If we put something on HQ, that means they can't run that often. We actually probably should be icing Archives because they're going to get Maw triggers. And I think we'll keep the Subliminal in hand just because money is not that necessary right now. And specifically, if they hit this with Maw, we can always bring it back. So this actually helps against Maw considerably. I don't actually think we need much more money at this point. So what are we doing for the rest of their turn is the question. Because if we install this, we have 1 click left. We can put the Whirlpool in front of it. Actually, that seems really good because otherwise we have a chance of losing it and we have no friends in this deck. I don't know why. We probably should have friends in this deck. Again, I made this really quickly just to see the proof of concept of whether we could kill with this. So if we lose any of these cards from hand, it's not that bad. We want the Crisium on archives in theory, and then we just need 2 pieces of ice on HQ. And 2 of our Whirlpools are already in use. We don't have any sort of ice repositioning tricks, which do exist. So I'm hoping that they do run archives R&D at some point, and they're probably likely to run archives. The fact that Maw just fired and now we iced up archives kind of makes it look like there's something sweet in there. So we'll see. And this blue moose has gotten them how much money? They paid 3 for it. They've so far gotten 8, so 5 credits. No influence on this card. I don't know what's going on. But the pressure's still going to be on us, and that's really good for them, I guess. So running Jackson here. Do we pop Jackson? I'm not sure we do. Like, we don't actually need to recur any of these cards. Now let's. That probably just have a Maw trigger here. It's not that bad. All right, so now it's a 1 in 4 because we have another Jackson, so it's not too bad. We also have to remember to always keep 1 credit in our bank. We can't go down to 0, otherwise our traps lose their teeth. But luckily, most of the sites cost very little. Run on HQ. They're gonna hit, they hit a Crisium grid, so they might want to trash that. If they don't, though, they have a Maw fire and they have a chance of hitting it. So I gotta tell them, you didn't hit the Crisium. You technically have to know that. It's super wild how Maw works, because the card you access, you flip over. And then you trash cards at random, so you have to use dice or something like that, without, while knowing whether or not you trashed it. So Jinteki.net doesn't help you do that. And they did trash our subliminals, so it's exactly like what we thought. And that's really cool. There's that Crisium again. They can't trash it, which is good. They'll get Aeneas credits though, so this is like a really efficient run. If they run again, they have a chance of trashing it. They can also trash Jackson, but it looks like they're going to career fire out an Earthrise Hotel. That's kind of the draw they needed right there. So Maw works the first time you access a card not in archives. Again, not much to do here. If we draw once, that's a fetal. Oh, they ran, so we don't get the subliminal back. That's kind of a bummer. I actually don't mind if they hit this too much. Yeah, we need another piece of ice. That's not what ice looks like. I guess I'll put this on archives for now. We kind of want them to run archives though. Maybe we don't want to overdo it there. If we put Marcus Batty on R&D, that actually might encourage them to run archives, because defensive upgrades on R&D are largely useless if you run through this way. So let's actually just put this on R&D to beta run, because it might look like it's really sweet to be running with the Omar ability through R&D. So this is cool. Also, for what it's worth, this ability hasn't done anything this game besides lose them 3 influence. If they started as Alice Merchant, things would be really cool for them. 5 more cards can be an issue, but like that ability is way more destructive. It changes how we play though. Like we did put 2 whites on archives. Oh shit, HQ runs are gonna be really good with that sucker. All right, no hit. Didn't get the hedge fund. They did get a Jackson though. That's kind of a bummer because eventually we are gonna float up. And they might just want to keep running there. They know there's a Crisium in there, so that's good because they can always run and get a credit. They're getting Data Sucker tokens. That means maybe they're running Parasite. Data Sucker is just a valuable card, especially when you're using these heat breakers, things like Black Orchestra and MK Ultra, because they actually like save you 3 credits in some cases instead of just 1. So hedge funds in there, those are good to keep. They're not trashable. They don't fire Maw. That's actually really, really good. Oh no, they do fire Maw. The first time each card yikes this card, non-cards, and do not steal trash it. Oh yeah, I know that does fire Maw. I'm gonna pay 5 credits here. We have the money. It really doesn't matter. I don't want to give them too bad pub, and they'll maybe trash everything. There's a limit to this, right? Alright, right? Oh, there we go. So I actually, yeah, fine, we'll play this. It makes it a 1 in 4 instead of a 1 in 5. They'll be running server 1. I don't think they'll be running Essential anytime soon just because they don't have proper breakers. But at this point, at least, we're not going to be bleeding Data Sucker tokens. And we need another piece of ice in here. Hopefully a Whirlpool. Yeah, hopefully a Whirlpool. I don't actually think you need Sandstorm in this deck archetype. All you need is Whirlpool, right? Yeah, you don't. I guess you could play this in Polana and maybe have more money. And we might actually want to overwrite this and put ice in front of it. Because I don't think they're definitely going to be running this one. So yeah, we don't need this money. We'll put ice in front of this so that they actually can't get value maw. And I'm actually hoping they find their breakers so they start poking archives and stuff like that. And there's the Black Orchestra, so they're getting a bit braver. Another Chrysium. That's a good tech card, I guess. Give us an ice. Yeah, that's a piece of ice. Move Sandstorm so it's the outermost piece of ice protecting another server. The runner can jack out though when they're there. And that's not great. Yeah, that's good enough though. So the question is, do they run this? It won't actually kill them because they'll be at 8 cards. It will take 8 cards out of them though, and that's really good. Losing 2 Jacksons actually might have been a mistake. I'm so used to playing with friends where it's like, trash your Jacksons, we don't care. But we actually only have 1 more Jackson in our deck. Otherwise, we'll have absolutely no recursion. And we'll be playing Netrunner like it was 4 years ago. Which sounds fun, right? So we'll see. That's a lot of cards in their hand. They probably have what they need halfway through their deck. They're probably looking for some sort of multi-axis piece. I wouldn't be surprised if they have Medium. Medium is really good with Omar because you can get value from running archives as well. Omar might also be running En Passant. It's not too bad of a card in this matchup. Sort of. It's like kind of hard to use, but the idea is they can run a server, then run through a different server, and then trash a piece of ice. Like you don't have to make a successful run, I think. The wording on Passant is actually relatively subtle. And they're also pretty sure that this isn't an agenda. And there's a Yogg. That means they're probably going to run. And Career Fair is an Ice Carver. Oh, good. Okay, so it looks like they're going to run. Whirlpool's still good. Macrophage still holds up. All our ice is actually relatively good right now. Besides this one's kind of crap. Add Subliminal. Heck yes. Free money. So Fairchild, they can break for free. We definitely want to put that on HQ. I think we'll draw one. So we have a chance of flooding out with agendas. Ooh, that's another good one. So put this on HQ, put a hedge fund. I don't think we'll res this until we purge. Because once we purge, they'll have no data sucker counters, and then this will only be 4 strength. And that's really good. Not a lot of people will expect this. A lot of people might be running 2nd or 3rd click against the Jinteki. It's not like HB where you always have to be running 1st click if you respect the Fairchild. Even against Architect, running 1st click is probably the best thing to do. So we'll see. I think we have to purge next turn. We can throw out a Chrysium. It's really not that bad. But they only have 5 cards in hand, right? So just one misstep. It's over. And I think we actually probably should be, and we haven't been drawing enough agendas for that to be the case, and we lost our baddie, so I guess we put one here. But we do have a case of that we maybe want to be pressuring into a scoring remote and using our Whirlpools on a scoring remote, just so that they have an incentive to run that server. Because right now they don't exactly. But I think we purge next turn. Yeah, toss a Chrysium purge is probably okay. Chrysium also gets value against Data Sucker, which is really good. However, Maw is the biggest issue, because if you leave it on a server and they don't ever trash it, they can always just run it for Maw tokens. They also can't break this, because it's not a code gate. Which is good, but not actually that good, because they can always jack out on another server. Another daily cast, alright. So let's just purge here. Add Subliminal, oh yeah, that helps. Solid purge, that's good. Still don't have a Sentry Breaker. That might be the largest reason why they're not running right now. They don't have Data Sucker tokens, so every basically 5 strength or ice or higher is really good. They might drop down something like Net Ready Eyes. I wouldn't be that surprised. Maybe that's overkill when you already have the Ice Carver. But they need to make us spend money. 23 credits isn't that much. I think they should be running relatively soon, because they have 11 in a bad pub, 6 coming in at the beginning of every turn. I think they need to put pressure on us. But it looks like they're really looking for that MK Ultra to feel absolutely safe. Bad Pub, by the way, gets so much value with Street Peddler. It's absurd. Install a card, running a naked remote. Install it, reduce its cost by 2. Get an Aeneas encounter, get a Maw Fire. Like, that's really, really good value. And there's the Mimic, so I think aggression's going to start. Scarcity, I came a bit too late. We'll hold it into hand, though, let's also put this on HQ, which will encourage them to run archives. This is way too late. We could have actually done a lot of damage. We could also motion that out. That's probably not too bad. 6 cards in hand. Yeah, maybe this mental health clinic is a mistake. There's a chance it is a mistake because they always draw 2 cards, run this. I think they're fully set up. We probably wanted to advance that once actually instead of clicking for credits. It's probably better because it's really hard to do 10 damage or to survive 10 damage. Still drawn up. 13 cards left in our stack. Maybe they're looking for a rebirth. I don't know. I don't think rebirth in Omar is that great unless maybe it is in the mid to late game where the archives is heavily iced up. So no, you don't get that much Omar value, but you're playing a 12 influence runner. It's probably better to start as Valencia. There's the net ready eyes. Okay, that's what they're looking for. DNA tracker abstractly still is an issue. We're not running it, but they can't deal with it. And they threw out a Parasite and Nerve Agent. That's really good. That's super fortunate for us. Because those are really scary cards. And I don't want to play the Scarcity until they have... let's advance this. That's subliminal. Yeah, thanks, bud. Pad campaign, forever. This they break for 3 credits. But again, I'm just hoping they lose here. I don't think we're going to res the Tithonium for 9. They break it for like 3 credits with bad pub. Even less if they never ready eyes their Fractor. But we can always bounce this to put them on there. That's fine. So I think we're going to just keep advancing this thing. Seems good. This card gets some value. We can just motion this out as well. Yeah, why not, right? Yeah, why not? It could be a way that actually that motion could be how we win. This might change how they play. They might just face plant into this, take 6 damage. They'll live. It'll be good for us though. 6 damage is 6 damage, and they haven't played a Parasite yet or a Deja Vu. There's one in the bin, so I'm assuming that like half of these cards they've been holding for a while. So that has to be like Parasite, Deja Vu. We also haven't seen the same old thing, but none of the cards in our deck so far synergize with same old thing. My New Mining Accidents removes itself from the game, thank God. So they might actually run this one. Yeah, they did. No more action. So we just got 6 free damage. Yeah, okay. Sweet. And just like we said, we got a Parasite and a Medium and a Data Sucker. That makes a lot of sense. The Medium is a scary one. I've had worse, did draw 3. They want to trash this. Because otherwise, well, maybe they don't actually. They probably should. It's not like they can run it with Maw. They're not going to get a lot of value. And we just took out a bunch of cards from their deck that are actually really important for the game plan. Mostly the Medium. There's a chance they sense that they can't run. And that's the thing, is like if we get another Whirlpool in here, I don't think they can run any Central Server without just losing the game. So what is this, right? They saw 2 Junebugs. What is this one? There's no like big card to be over advanced in Jinteki. I guess allele suppression, is that what it's called? Allele something. And now we have agendas in hand, which is kind of rough. Yeah, there's not much else to install, right? Like 3 Aeneas. I don't think they need the 3rd one. That's their last daily cast. Did they throw out Aeneas? Yeah, so that's all 3 Aeneases. That's their last daily cast. Earthrise. There's 1 on the table. It's really hard to see this. There's 1 in here. There might be another Earthrise. There might be another Liberated account. Playing this actually might tempt them to run, which is kind of cool. Because they might want to turn it off. Oh, mind you, they also have 3 cards underneath here. So this might be their pocket Parasite. So we'll see. Maybe they want to run so they can turn this current off. Maybe they're actually just going to throw down an Employee Strike. Employee Strike is relatively risky when it comes to Street Peddler. They also haven't showed any same old things yet. So I don't know. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe 12 Influence. That's what you lose. 3 Employee Strikes. Just run Archives, my friend. It'll be so easy. This card's made us buckets. Not that we're utilizing our money, but again, when they had 1 bad pub and this was empty, I guess trashing it ruins their Maw plan, so maybe that's a bad thing to do. Removing I've had worse from the game. I'm assuming they don't have a levy. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense they don't have a levy considering how liberally they're removing cards from the game from the Blue Moose. But yeah. Alright. I think we win the game, unless they have a Faust underneath there. You always have to wait for them to do that. So the runner can't check out for the remainder of the run. Oops. Strength 0 though. Actually, Pocket Parasite kills it. And that's it. That's largely it. What cheese? This was always an option in AgInfusion. Like Sandstorm didn't even show up, did it? Pocket Parasite's the only option here, unless they have a Pocket AI, which I don't think they do. They might actually have like a Pocket Omakua. So the runner can't check out. And now our ability is still online, so we're going to just use AgInfusion. You're running server 3, my friend. That's game. We had that set up from like turn 3. Oh man, so cheesy. Good game. That's really hard to deal with. It honestly is. That's wild. I'm gonna do a nice resol just to see it. There's only one server they could have ran. They could have ran HQ actually, and it might have been good for them. They only had like, what, 10 cards left, so it's actually gonna be pretty hard for them to steal Obakata and all that other stuff. Ice in this deck is relatively scary. Shit, my face was in front of something. That doesn't matter that much, does it? I literally was just thinking, I hope this isn't a Whirlpool game. Yeah, that one can always get you. And that was a proof of concept here. We've uploaded 2 really cheesy games in a row. I apologize for that. Yeah, but I think with like the idea with Whirlpool and then Sandstorm is a possibility, but also just having the AgInfusion ability, it's relatively easy to just put a Junebug down and advance it 4 or 5 times and have that be a win condition. Now there's ways to counter that. Like if you have an AI breaker, fine. If there was a data sucker, or sorry, a parasite on the street peddler, yeah, that would have worked too. The macrophage would have been pretty sweet though. We also had a Marcus Batty though. I don't think that would matter that much. Thanks, you too. But yeah, that works. That absolutely works. Well, thanks so much for watching. Again, we're not gonna be streaming this Thursday. I'm gonna try and get another video up this week. I'm not actually sure if it's possible. Maybe we'll record one on the road. I don't know what my capabilities are. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back early next week. Ciao.